When I'm seeing anybody in their early 20s or teenage years taking a gander, not only for our veterans, for politics, for the military, I kind of perk up because, without our voices are dead. That's just like a dead church. If you don't have youth in there, then you might as well go ahead and close the doors. Well, we still got leaders in the other generation. So when y'all looking at certain generations and you don't think that there's a leader coming out of the rubble, well, we got our Phoenix. And not only do we have our Phoenix under Luke Basso, but he is still representing people from Pearl Harbor, from Vietnam, if there's any still out there, our elderly veterans that are still alive, but we know they're dying out very, very, very quickly. So he said he doesn't do a show. He's not a podcaster per se, but he does have a YouTube channel. So he's what do you call YouTubers then? They got shows. Well, bring them on so we can ask him. Hey, Luke,
How's it going?
how you doing? Okay, now go ahead and give your your credentials because you told me not to show host. I'm just gonna call you a show host.
Well, that's okay. Well, some people call me a podcaster, but I consider myself a YouTuber. On my YouTube channel, I interview veterans and historical witnesses from World War II to the modern day to help preserve their stories. I've been doing this since I was 15. I just turned 20 recently, and I'd say I have around at least 80 interviews and too many documentaries. The name of my channel is Filmperia, and I try to do at least one interview a week. I still have a bunch of interviews I haven't edited yet, but I'm continuing to do this as in the free time I do have.
So, what made you at the age of 15 really get involved and wanting to get the words of our veterans or honor our veterans that are out there from these wars?
Well, I've always had an interest in military and political history, and at the time, it's worse now that there's the remaining number of World War II veterans. I wanted to help preserve their stories. Now, most of them are around 100 years old. At the time, the average age of them were about 95 or 96, and I was interviewing World War II veterans where I used to live in upstate New York. And then one thing led to another. Then was Korean War, then Vietnam vets, then uh, more recent conflicts in like Iraq and Afghanistan veterans, and then it led to historical witnesses like Holocaust survivors or victims of communism because they deserve a voice too. So just one thing led to a next, just taking interest in history as a teenager, and then starting a YouTube channel, and it just continued. More opportunities led to another, and here I am now.
Have you ever interviewed anyone from D-Day, Normandy?
Yes, actually a few. In fact, I this week I'm going to do another uh, D-Day veteran. I met him at the anniversary of D-Day when I was over there last year. We met on the plane, and there was about a 7 month gap we didn't talk, and I finally got back in touch with him, and we're going to do a Zoom call. I don't know what state he lives in, but I think he's either 100 now or he's going to turn 100.
Are you planning on putting any of your shows or any of these interviews? Have you thought about actually doing a journal for these men and women before they pass away? Like as you're interviewing them, you just go ahead and maybe transcribe it and put it in book form, and actually have books for each interview that you have done.
No, that's a good idea. I've written a few articles about some of these veterans, but I like your idea of more in depth and description of these veterans, and maybe I can give it to the families and friends because we lose veterans every single day from all conflicts, and it means a lot to their friends and family when I give them a voice. This is the first time a lot of them have talked about this, like ever.
Well,
So I like the idea.
PDK Amazon actually lets you create your own journals on the, softback books, hardback books, and it's free. So you just have to find the application for you to be able to dictate your, as is, you're doing your interviews, you're not changing anything, just, transcribe your interviews, and then you can upload it and just create your own book for free and get it out there on Amazon, which you might have to pay a little bit, but you will get money for these books, and it will be out there in paperback or hardback. So you have 80. There's 80 books for you.
Oh wow. Well, I'm gonna look into that. No, thank you for bringing that up.
Because if you're going to be doing this, not only will you have it on digital, you're going to have it in paperback.
Right.
Paperback will
Yeah.
never go away. Someone would always have it. Something digitally can always be keystroke and erase. But with paperbacks, this is something that you can present to each veteran that you interview and actually come across that you're going to put their paper or put their story down in a book form. That is a great one.
No, I'll look into that. Thank you for bringing that up, and that's going to mean a lot to them and their family that they have a physical copy instead of just on YouTube.
So, when it comes to the Holocaust and the survivors of the historical Holocaust, when you approach them, how do you start the conversation of them allowing you to interview them to tell their story?
Well, they always know what they're getting into. Every single person who I do an interview with, they always look me up. They what's the word, vet me. They just well, I know the people do that with you too. They completely do research on who I am exactly. When I was younger, it was more difficult because they thought I would. Well, at the time, I was still in high school. They were like, I don't know, maybe I don't know. They're a little iffy about it. Now they take me more seriously and they understand who I am. But to answer your question is well, I start at the beginning and we kind of ease into it. Like I said, this is the first time a lot of people have talked about their experiences in the past and throughout history. So we start off slowly, usually from the beginning, and then we ease into it, and then they start opening up. Once they start talking, they just keep on talking because it all comes back to them after 80 years for these Holocaust survivors and for Vietnam vets around 50 years and um, when Iraq and Afghanistan that wasn't too long ago, but same thing.
So, what was your very first interview? Do you remember?
My very first interview, it's not the one I uploaded because I didn't upload them all the order I went to. It was just if you look at my channel, it's okay. I'm sorry. To answer your question, the very first interview I did was with a World War II veteran. Actually, I have a picture of him right next to me right here. I've known him since he passed away recently, but I've known him since I was 14 years old, and I used to see him maybe like a few times a month, and he was at Iwo Jima in Okinawa. His name's Tony,
Hey,
and
Tony.
I have a picture right next. I have his picture right next to me because he meant a lot to me. He was one of my best friends ever. I've known him since I was 14 years old, and he passed away recently. And he helped me a lot get started with this stuff, and he taught me a lot about history and really helped with my work with veterans. So I really appreciate Tony a lot. He was, like I said, Iwo Jima in Okinawa, United States Navy, served from 1943. I think he got out. I want to say he got out in 1946, but then he rejoined the Navy as a submariner. But he's been a big help to me, so I'm gonna remember for the rest of my life.
I think that'd be your very first book, My Best Friend Tony, and then an American veteran, and then just break it down there. Now, when you say you just uploaded, who was your last interview with? That who is
That
this
was
last one?
uploaded,
Yes.
or that I've done it because there's still a bunch of them I haven't edited yet because they just pile up
No, the one
sometimes.
that you haven't done to kind of give people a taste of who is getting ready to be uploaded next.
Um, well, I can tell you the one I just did. I don't know when they'll be uploaded.
Okay.
He's this 92-year-old World War II veteran, and he's one of the younger ones. Most of these veterans are 100 years old. He lied his way in when he was 13 years old, and right after World War II, he was stationed in well, he was part of the occupation of Germany. He remembers uh, just post-war Germany and how intense it was, and the biggest fear was uh, uh, they called them werewolves. These loyal SS soldiers who were ready to carry on the fight for the Third Reich. And he was 13 years old holding a rifle. Everyone else was 18 or 19 years old, and he was absolutely terrified. But he lied his way in. He loved his country. He wanted to. He originally wanted to join the Navy. His brother was in the war. Oh, it might not be the Navy. I'm sorry. Don't fact check me there when I
Okay.
do. I
We
need to look
won't.
back on that. But the point was, he all these people lied their way in during the war. There's so many people who were 15 years old, 16 years old, and he was 13 years old carrying a
And he
rifle
got
in
caught,
Germany.
right? He did get caught about his age. Did he get court-martialed or anything like that happen?
No, he didn't. No, they didn't. Well,
Wow.
someone later found out, but it was like way too late to even do anything about it. It's like, oh, okay, that was a long time ago. Uh, what can they do at that point? Because so many people lied their way in. Now, if that happened today, that'd be way different. If some 13-year-old kid did that, that'd be a whole scandal. But 80 years ago, not necessarily. And this happened frequently back during World War II, even Korea and Vietnam.
Who was your most important, besides your best friend, who started your path on doing this and being a historian? Who was one of your most favorite interviews that you have actually conducted?
I haven't uploaded this one yet because we spent a total of 9 hours together, so that's gonna be uh, a big a big uh, it's gonna take a long time to edit. But his name is Russell Freeberg. He I think he just turned 102.
Wow.
He um no his story's interesting. So here's kind of the average of World War II soldier story of he went to Europe, he fought the Germans, and later years in the war. But the first half of the entry was that we split up into three separate days because it was just so long. But afterwards, he became a journalist and he knew people like JFK, he knew Ronald Reagan, he knew Truman, and he knew a lot of politicians from back in the day. So there's a lot of political history there too, as well as World War II history. And he's written a few books too. So we just talked for hours and hours and hours because that guy, if you want to talk about history, he's the guy because he lived through all of that and he's the guy to talk to history about World War II, politics, anything. So he's a cool guy. We still talk to this day. He lives in Florida, which is why we did a Zoom interview. But he's with it for his age. He knows how to use Zoom. He's still active, and I recommend that whoever's listening to this look him up. Just look him up on Wikipedia. He's done a lot of work and a lot of
Now,
good stuff.
what's his name again?
Russell Freeberg.
Russell Free Bird. Okay.
Yeah, Berg. Russell Freeberg.
Okay, I got that. Have anybody ever left you with any kind of medals just to say thank you to carry on their legacy? Have anybody ever offered you one or gave you one because they know you're doing great work?
Um, I need to think on that, but yes, there have been veterans who give me gifts. I need to look at There's a bunch of stuff over there on display, but I need to I'm not going to get them all, but there's a bunch of stuff on display that veterans have given me, and so yes, there has been times, but I need to think back exactly who and what gave me them and when. But yes, there has been times they gave me like patches or just other memorabilia
Have you
from all
ever,
wars.
what is the, if there's a flight or that they usually take these veterans to
The
take
honor flight,
the
yes.
honor flight, how many of those have you been on?
Well, where I used to live in upstate New York, there was a ceremony 4 times a year, and all the and they have one. I think they have one in most areas in the United States. Like I said, I used to live in upstate New York. Now I live in North Carolina, but in upstate New York, they had four of them every year, and the ceremonies I would go to all of them. But I've only been on one to DC. But just because I was invited as a special guest just of all the work I've done for veterans. This was in my junior year of high school uh, in 2023, and I was invited as a special guest to go down there just for all the stuff I done for veterans and the local news report on this. Mountain Lake PBS did a special about that, and it was it was it was an honor to go with these veterans down in Washington D.C. from World War II, Korean War. There were some Vietnam guys there, and there's a few chaperones who were Iraq and Afghanistan war veterans. We
Have
got
you
to see all
ever,
the monuments. What was that?
no, I was getting ready to say after that, have you ever been to Pearl Harbor? I'm trying to remember all like the significant areas that we've had war in the past. Have you ever been
No,
to like,
that's on my list though. To go to Pearl Harbor. I skipped my high school graduation to go to the anniversary of D-Day in France last year, and people were like, "Why weren't you at graduation?" I'm like, "Well, this is the last major anniversary of D-Day, and I'd rather be there than my high school graduation." And I didn't feel as bad because I was only at that high school for 1 year, so it didn't really mean as much. But still, I'd rather be at the anniversary of D-Day because um, this is the last major one, and they do
wow.
major ones every 5 years. And for the 85th anniversary, I don't think there's gonna be barely any World War II veterans there. There wasn't that many at all last year, so this was a very special moment that I had the opportunity to go to.
How many do you think there's left of the D-Day?
Of D-Day itself, oh God, maybe less than 1,000
Wow.
worldwide.
Wow. Well, it was okay. Okay. So do you think there will ever, before the 85th, because they are getting so older now, do you think that you or an organization that you might could get in contact with actually bring them together for like maybe a last hurrah, and it doesn't have to actually be over there, but inside of the United States, back maybe at the Capitol, back at the Korean Memorial up there at VM. I can see it all in my head right now, and just have a huge banquet or get together, because like you said, a lot of these people might not last for another 5 years.
I'm sure that's definitely possible with all these veteran organizations, and a lot of people prioritize the World War II veterans because, as I said, there's they die by the day. We lose hundreds of them every day. It's more of the issue of finding them. That's the problem. It's so hard to find them nowadays. I'm lucky enough. I know a few of them still alive, but um, every few months I'll hear that one of them passed away, and it's very depressing.
Now on your show, how do you actually get the veterans, or the historians, the ones that's been back there, the Holocaust survivors? Do they volunteer? Do somebody help you find them, or you just Google them and do research before you ask them to come on your show?
Well, that's a good question, and it's different for every single one of them. Some of them I know locally, some of them are family friends. Sometimes I go to VFWs or American Legion and tell them what I do, and sometimes I do presentations at other organizations, and there's veterans there who will say, "I'll come on your channel, Luke." Majority of the veterans don't want to talk on my channel, which I get 100%. Why would you want to talk about the worst days of your life? I understand that 100%. But there's a few veterans who volunteer to go on my channel. They go, "I'll talk about it." They understand it's for historical sake and to preserve our American veterans' stories. And other ways I find them is I just ask everyone, do you I say, hey, do you know any veterans I can interview? And most of them say, no, I don't. And then one of them's like, oh yeah, my uncle's a Vietnam veteran. Let me ask him. And then like 3 months later, even sometimes it'll be half a year later, they'll be like, yeah, I finally got him to agree to some of this. Um, Sometimes the veterans out there get to know them beforehand, which I get entirely too. And there's other ones too, where there's some of them are public figures, like they've been interviewed before, or they've done other work, like Russell Freeberg, who's already his name was already out there. So sometimes it's easier to contact some of these veterans who are public figures, and some of them are podcasters or YouTubers as well, or authors too. So it's easier to find them, but they're more in high demand. But I really want to prioritize the World War II and Korean War veterans, and it's almost impossible to find them now. So um,
Cheryl, she said that I'm just reading some of the live chat. She said she works with a lot of vets for housing is another way. She said check with the Order of the Purple Heart, also the VFW, and maybe the American Legion, like you said before. But the what did she say? The Purple Heart, the Order of the Purple Heart is another one that you maybe can ask for, and then also this, because they are passing away, and actually, slowly but surely every day you find out that another veteran passed away. How about just doing a coffee table book? Not even like get in there and get their whole story, but you've done 80 different people, take their likeness, their faces, and do a bullet point, and then that's a whole nother kitchen or a coffee table book of your path, and you doing all of this to get their voices out there, and until you're able to actually get a full blown book, a coffee table book, maybe taking some screenshots from the show, and then putting it up there, and then giving a little snippet of exactly about the show, and then you could actually have a journal and a coffee table book right then, until you're able to collect all of these histories from all of these people. Have you ever thought about that too?
I have thought about a long time ago when I was 16 years old. I thought about that. I just never knew how. And like I said, that's when I was first starting too. So I didn't know. I only had like maybe a dozen interviews then, but now I have so many. It's going to be and now that I'm older, I think I can make I think I can pull that off. Maybe when I hit my 100th interview, I can do something like that, like the as like a way to celebrate that. And
You ready
you know
for this?
the like a description of each veteran, get a picture of them, and it's like a paragraph per page per veteran, and
It's
it
called
just
Canva. It's called Canva. Canvas. Canva. Go ahead,
can.
and it's free. Just the way I walked it to you, it's free. You could do that and then upload it to Amazon, and you could do that within probably a week and have your kitchen
Oh
table,
wow.
have your coffee table book already ready for you within less than a week. And you don't need a press person, you don't need a publisher, you don't need any of that. You only need your ideas, Canva, and also Amazon, and you have your book out there without anybody else helping you.
No, no, thank you for saying that. I didn't realize it was that easy, and that maybe I don't even. I probably don't even have to wait till my 100th interview. I can probably just, start it for
And
like,
you can do a
like next
series.
month, something like that, right?
Absolutely. With the ones that's already uploaded, you already have the uploaded videos. You're taking screenshots or a picture of them. You're going to give a small paragraph, maybe flip the page over because you want 180, 160 pages, and just keep going. And you can have all of this stuff uploaded into your own book by your own self. And you don't really need a PR person to actually help you get these people names and out there in your book. And then before they pass away, or even after they pass away, you send a copy to their family, and then they will know that this is something. Not only are you doing a show on YouTube and it's being a YouTuber, but now you're an author at the same time, publishing your works off of video and actually putting it in literature.
No, I like that. That's way easier, and I can probably get that done in like a month or two if I just look into that more. But no, I like that a lot, and I'm glad you brought it up because that's something I considered when I was 16 years old. I didn't know what I was doing then, and I was just getting started. So no, thank you for bringing that up again.
And
'Cause
then it actually help
I
you.
would have forgotten that entirely. Sorry, what was that?
No, it actually help you make money to help you get to all of these places around the
That's true.
world
Yeah.
or around the United States or down to Hawaii, so you'll be getting paid, making your own money off your own intelligence, and then you'll be able to go down to Pearl Harbor and different places because you will actually have the proof this is what you're doing, and more people will be wanting to help you and actually be interviewed because they know they will be immortalized in a book and not just on video.
No, no, that's great. That would help me a lot, just travel purposes and just expanding what I'm doing. So thank you for bringing that
So
up.
what's your next? Who is your next? Because you're saying you just there's so many out there. Who is one of your a goal that maybe you can talk to before he either passed away or not able for you to be able to contact them? Who is one person, one veteran that you would really love to interview for your show?
Well, okay, so for World War II veterans, most people I've interviewed are American, and I want to get all sides of. I want to get British veterans. I've had one Canadian veteran. I want to get. I even want to get some Axis Powers veterans. I want to hear the German side. I really want to hear what they got to say too. Um, I want to get maybe get a Soviet veteran, uh, possibly. Let's see. A Japanese veteran or Italian veteran or French veteran. I met a French veteran, but he didn't speak English. But that was at the anniversary D-Day. But I want to get all these points of views of World War II history. And then when it comes to more modern day, one veteran I met him recently. We both know he's General Flynn, and I think he's agreed to do an interview. Um, in person, he said. I don't know if his PR team is going to agree to do one just because he's so busy. But he said he will do one eventually. So yeah, hopefully I can interview General Flynn at some point this year.
Go over there on X, tag General Flynn in a post, and I will tag General Flynn in a post. And then when I get off my phone, I will get into his scheduler's text messages and be like, "Hey, girl, M, there's a young guy that really wants to interview General Flynn. Do you think you can make this happen?" So I have his scheduler on speed dial, and I actually got General Flynn too. So if
Nice.
you really
Because
want to interview,
he agreed to do it when I ran into him. It's just that is when is he available? I don't know. That's the thing, and
let's
I
make him
haven't.
himself
So
available. All we can do is ask. And so if you tag team him on one side, I tag team him on the other side. We keep tagging him on X. Sooner or later, he's gonna respond.
nice. All right. Thank you.
So if
And
General Flynn, oh my, um, that it, General Flynn, you're gonna have fun.
oh, there's a lot to talk to with him. So yeah, like I said, it's all conflicts and all people who are alive from American history from World War II to the modern day. And in the middle, there's there's a bunch of lesser known conflicts that I want to get people from, like when we were in Panama, fighting Manuel Noriega. I want to get someone like just a smaller conflict we've been a part of, interview people like that. Or there's I met someone from the Cuban Missile Crisis on from the CIA side. I want to get more people who were part of that, or or our military interventions in Latin America. There's a lot of veterans out there. I just don't know how to find them. Well, I should say a lot, but it was a smaller military conflict. But I want to get all sides of American history, not just the ones people talking about World War II, Korea, Vietnam. There's so many. We deployed troops to Africa a few times during the Cold War, and
Mm.
and when it comes to more modern day, like, okay, yeah, I've had a lot of Iraq and Afghanistan war veterans, but we have troops in Syria. Luckily, I've been able to. I've only got one person to agree who's fought in Syria to talk my channel. Out of I met a few of them, but only one of them's agreed. And I uploaded that a few months ago, and that was very interesting hearing about the reality of what's going on over there, because the media doesn't really cover. They don't cover. They always spin it and twist it, and hearing it from this guy's point of view, who was there not too long ago, was very interesting talking to him.
Cheryl also said try to actually get in contact with Gold Star families.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe going through the families of Gold Star members, you could get it's like a introduction to the actual person you want to talk to. And I actually forgot about this Gold Star. Look, see, I told you, Luke, get in the chat rooms. You get in the chat rooms and ask questions and use my pages and ask these people, because you have a lot of veterans that are actually in here. But like you said, a lot of people don't want to relive those nightmares. And then there's some that really want to get their story out there. But yes, Cheryl said Gold Star families. And let's just say Tracy said, my dad is World War II, Korean War, and brother is Vietnam. So you have people in the
Oh,
chat rooms that still have family members and loved ones that are still alive.
yeah,
That
if anyone's watching this, please contact me. My email is lukeb.filmperia@gmail.com. Filmperia is spelled Filmperia. So lukeb.filmperia@gmail.com. If anyone knows a veteran or you are a veteran, feel free to email me. And if you just want to chat, or if you know, or you want to put me in touch with a veteran, just let me know.
and there's a guy over here on D Live. His name is Charles. So Charles off Adolph. You know what? Charles is a veteran too. So I'm gonna go ahead because we have 2 minutes left. I'm gonna go ahead and let you have the last word. Please plug yourself, and everybody, do not forget Luke is one of the special guests that's coming down here on the rally for the Faith Over Fear of celebration of our veterans, and then of course the first responders. He's 20 years old. He's already out there taking charge in life. He's already taken charge of his generation. He's already making sure that memories are not lost, stories are not lost, and that he reverenced not only historical points of reference in America, but also our military. So, like I said, just come out on April the 12th just to meet Luke and have questions for him. And then if your mom and dad or one of your veterans in your family, bring them too, because this is a celebration. Because without them, we wouldn't be America. America wouldn't be the America that we supposed to love and represent and honor and cherish. And if it wasn't for people like Luke and his age, because like I'm 50, he's 20, he's gonna keep that legacy. This is what we're talking about, a living legacy. Luke is gonna be a living legacy. So like I said, Luke, go ahead and close us out this last this what you call this segment.
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me to be a guest speaker at the rally in April. Second of all, like I said, if anyone knows a veteran, please contact me on my email. And if you enjoy hearing about our veterans have to say on my YouTube channel, Filmperia, please consider subscribing. All the support helps, not just me, but these veterans, and shows that what they fought for really meant something. And
Amen.
these veterans have done so much for our country. We owe them so much. So anyway, thank you all for watching this, and I appreciate that you invited me to this the rally, and around a month from now in April, and I'll be there. And you'll meet my mom too. I'm gonna bring her too.
Oh, good. I'm gonna put on the grill. Don't even worry about it. So tell her to lace her boots up. So everybody, y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. Go ahead, Dave. Thank you, Luke.
Thank you so much. See you in
Absolutely.
April.
We are running a sale on our entire We the People line of products. Just use promo code TOLDYOUSO and get